Hello everybody, happy afternoon. It's Wednesday at 2 and this is Connie and I'm live. And today I was dying to use this beautiful toile paper. It is just absolutely gorgeous. And I've been messing with it a little bit, making different things, and I realized I was struggling a little, and I'll show you what I did with it. So Autumn Toile number 165882, in case you are looking for it yourself. This is one of the autumn paper packs in the collection right now that came out with the mini catalog, and I fell in love with this paper, this tree and the deer and the neutral palette. I just absolutely love it, and I decided I really wanted to make some scrapbook pages with it. And what I found was, when I was messing around with the papers that come in the packet, I didn't love all of them together. Like, I didn't feel like they all went together in a really easily. And so what I did, I started pulling my cardstock to look for colors that went. Now, this is pecan pie. Pecan pie goes with it beautifully. But I wanted something darker. The vanilla, I looked at the background thinking it might be basic beige, but it's actually vanilla. And so you can kind of see where I'm going with that. I think cardstock was the answer. And I'm really dying to use this one. This is the next one I'm going to be using. And you might notice I have some wood grain pulled to go with this paper, because I found I wanted a rich, dark brown, but not a solid. And so these wood grains, that wood grain pack is a great rescue. It adds to this a lot. And so I grabbed the reddish orangish one for the pumpkin papers, which I will do on another day. And then I grabbed this one, which is a super dark brown, to use today. And so I just wanted to show you that. Now, I could have, could have used the brown from the other autumn pack, because it's beautiful with this paper too. But I decided I wanted to keep this brown for this pack. It really does go well. And I am, going to do some pumpkin themed, fall themed, cards and things. And I'm kind of saving this pack for some cards. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. I've already used a little bit of it here and there. And I've already used a little bit of this one here and there. I'm finding that this is my favorite pattern out of the whole pack. Why? I don't know. I think it's because it's so versatile in color. Okay, so what I really want to do with this scrapbook layout is I really want to show off the toile, okay? More than anything. That's what I want to do. So what I did, let me change my zoom out just a little bit here. Other direction, Connie. Okay, so what I really wanted to do was use a full sheet of that toile right here in the middle, because I want it to be on display, and I really like how that looks. And so I split it down the middle. I did this at a 4-inch cut. So there's 8 inches on this side and 4 on this side. And I'm like, okay, what can I do with that? Knowing that this is I want this to show as much as possible and still be able to put photos on my page. And so I took that wood grain and I made like a little 2-inch strip, and I took that paper that I love to put here. So that's where I started. And then I know I have a lot of photos that have the trees and fall leaves changing and things like that. We have a couple of really big trees that are huge maples that look a lot like these trees in the print, only they turn this bright, huge, vivid yellow during the fall. Not yet, but they will. And so I know I have a lot of photos of that. I like this brown too, but see how it's more of a it's more of a warmer brown than what I wanted to use on this page. I wanted something darker. So yeah, this is what I went with. Anyway, so I'm just gonna go ahead. I'm attaching this to a vanilla cardstock sheet because the vanilla is going to show a little bit behind these photos right here. And I really like how these look. Let's see here. I'm gonna go ahead and let's get this put into place. I went ahead and pre-cut stuff today because I'm on a little bit of a time crunch and I didn't want you to have to sit and watch me put everything together, you know, a little at a time. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna have to pre-cut, pre-plan. I signed up for the Crop and Create event, which is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And so I will not be live on Friday. But I promise I will show you after the event all the cool cards I make and stuff. It's very exciting. So here is my page 2 using the French vanilla or very vanilla as the background. And now on this page, I'm going to cover the whole thing in paper. I'm basically going to wallpaper it. And since I'm going to do that, I thought I can use anything. And I've got gobs of white cardstock. And so I'm just going to use a piece of that white cardstock for that. In my world, white cardstock is cheaper than anything else. So that's what I'm using. And I'm going to go ahead and put this on next. So what's everybody else been working on? You know, it's interesting. I've been starting to work on Christmas cards a little bit here and there because I realized I need to get those done, or at least going, because I tend to send out a lot of them, typically over 100, and I like to donate cards to JJ for the elderly. And I'm like, I don't have any. So I started making some, and now I've got a few batches of where I did stash busters and things like that. Now you can see none of that white shows. It's just a base for my layout, which I really like. Now I wanted to add a color to this, but it is really hard to add a color to this paper because what I found when I was messing around is that the dark neutrals and some of the dark jewel tones really seem to work well, like the Blackberry Bliss and the Cajun Craze and the mossy meadow. Some of those colors work really well with this. And so I'm keeping it neutral right now. You can see it's all neutral. This is a ribbon that is a textured ribbon. It's called Irregular Weave Trim. And you can see it's like mesh almost. And I've been using it a lot this fall because I really kind of like how it looks. It adds a little texture to the page, and I like how it looks against this. So I'm going to put some adhesive down on my page, and it does have holes in it. Like it's not totally, like you might be able to feel a little bit of the adhesive through it, but actually, no, it's pretty good. I think most of it is going to end up being covered over time because I have photos and stuff that'll be going on top of it. And usually I wrap my ribbon around the back and then I use washi tape or something to adhere it to the back. But this ribbon it's not normal, all right? It's not a normal ribbon. It's firmer, so it can stand up to being trimmed and not unravel like a normal ribbon would. I really like how that looks. So I love this, right? I love it, but I need to make some room for photos and I need to make some room for a title. And I got out that pecan pie because that was another neutral brown that I really liked. I played around with that mossy meadow and I played around with Blackberry Bliss. I liked all of it, but for the pictures I personally have, this is gonna work for me. I wanted to matte my pictures in the vanilla, and if I like a double matte to pop them a little bit from that busy background. I don't want I mean, I love how that looks, but if I had separate photos around just by themselves, I think, you know, they might get a little bit lost. I'm not sure. I could do something like that. Could do something like that. But I do really like how this pecan pie looks on here, so that's what I'm going to go for. It would help if I had brought my pictures over from next door where I keep them, so that I could show you what I'm talking about. I have a lot of yellow in those pictures, kind of that crushed curry color, and I really like how this looks. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on. This layout is very basic. It comes together pretty quick, and I want the trees to show at the top. I don't want to cover up everything, you know what I mean? So there's that. Now on this side, I definitely want a title up here at the top. And then I cut a couple more photo mats, and I think I may do something like this. And I'm going to hold off on attaching those to my page because I think I want my photos in place to see which way these look best before I do that. So let's talk about the title. You know, I'm not like a master title maker. You know, I'm very basic. Fall, trees, the date, you know, family, whatever. But today I really wanted to challenge myself to use the large alphabet. These are those party alphabet dies. And because they're so big, you can do things with them that you can't necessarily do with the smaller ones as easily. And that's sort of my theme this week, as I'm messing around with this party alphabet. So I thought, okay, my third color I'm bringing in, my actual color, is crushed curry. And this is the color of the trees in my neighborhood when they turn. This is a stamp from Prairie Grass. And what I like about this is that it does remind me of the fall, when the fields are kind of empty and all you see is like the grass around the fields, cattails. I mean, everything about this set kind of reminds me of the fall. And I've been trying to use it as much as possible. I really love it. The messages are very nice for sympathy and friendship, but not for scrapbooking, but the images are nice, and the images are huge. They're huge, and which makes them perfect for scrapbooking. I mean, look, there's my hand, and look how big that grass is. That's a full card right there. Cattails, those are easily 3.5 inches. And then, of course, I'm going to use this little grass piece. And I put it on a block. And what I'm going to do, ink that up. And I'm going to kind of stamp it off. So stamp and stamp 2 or 3 more times. What that does is it gives you different it gives it depth. So it looks like there's grass in the front, grass in the back. It's, you know, grass is not all the same color, and this is the color of a lot of the grass this time of year. And so this is one thing that I think is a great option for this page. And then what I did is I took the letters for the word fall and I put them onto this grass like this. And I cut them out. And so what happens is you end up with stamped letters. And so let me show you what that looks like. So I stamped everything twice. I stamped it once in the vanilla with the grass stamped on it. And do you see how that looks kind of wispy in the background? I really love how that looks. Isn't that pretty? And then I thought, to make it pop from the page, because when you look at these letters on the page, they can kind of get lost a little bit. And I thought it might be nice to offset them just a little bit with that darker color, and it will bring in that darker color. So I'm just gonna put some glue on here. And go ahead and put these letters together. And so I love the look of the offset letters. I think they turn out really nice for this page. Let me bring my page back in. I'm going to bring in the 2 pages side by side so you can see this as a whole. And then you can see that I want to put the letters here. I could have made this any word, and I may change it yet, but I really do love the look of it. I like the idea of fall, and then I thought in a smaller font, I might write something smaller. This is just a start. And so I really love how that looks. I thought the other thing I could do to this whole page to like set it off is edge it in brown, like use a brown ink and just, you know, go around the edges of all of my pieces, and that would give them just another texture, another element. I like the idea of doing that on all of the vanilla. So that's another thought. Now, the other thing that I did was I went ahead and I stamped that prairie grass and the smaller grass in brown and in the crushed curry. So beautiful. Just to have, you know what? I do want some layouts that have leaves on them. I do, but not every layout. I don't want all my fall layouts to have leaves. And my other toile page is definitely going to have pumpkin patch pictures on it. And so I just thought, why not, you know, build some of this like this. I like the simplicity of it. I like how that looks. I think it's going to look very, very soft and subtle and beautiful. And I'm cool with this just the way it is. Now, if I wanted to bring in more of that crushed curry, I do have some scraps, and I was like, well, I could, you know, tuck a little, make a couple little tabs to write on. I'm not sure I want that in your face. My photos are already going to be a little in your face. They're already this color, so I'm not really sure that I need any other of this color, even though right at the moment it may look that way, but my photos have a lot of that color in it. What I do like the idea of is adding a little more gold, and so I brought out some options just to show you. This is the mesh ribbon, and it's got a little bit of a twinkle to it, a little sparkle, iridescent kind of. It's really beautiful on this paper. It's really beautiful on the dark. I think that it would be gorgeous on this page. If you did decide to do leaves, this would be a really nice background, you know, to make like a little swoosh around it and then put leaves on top of it, I think would look gorgeous. I could use more of that mesh, obviously. I just pulled this to show you. I got this in the mail. I'm going on a retreat next weekend, and this was one of the items they asked us to bring. Greetings for you, mix and match. And you can see it's lots of gold, beautiful gold foiled messages. This would be really great paper with, like, if you have a gold deer or a sleigh or something like that that's a little more elegant, even snowflakes, to put in the background and use gold on the front. How beautiful. These are the flower accents. They have a little bit of a texture there. You can kind of see that texture there. As the light hits it, and you can see that would really sparkle on the page. I love that idea. Even just some gold sequins would look great on this page, and I could do any of those, but of course, you know, my favorite are these crazy little bees. And with the, I don't know about you, but here in Central Illinois, oh my gosh, when you're out walking right now, it's bee time, it's bee season. And so everywhere you go, you've got bees floating around. And I love the idea of just adding a few little bees around the prairie grasses and things like that. And so I'm going to add those, and I'm just going to have fun with it. I can't wait to get my pictures put onto this page, and I hope you guys like it. This is all I'm showing today, and then I will be back next Wednesday, and hopefully I will have the pumpkin page done. I don't know whether I'm going to show that on camera or if I'm going to just show you the finished product, because I have so many projects I want to show. My gosh, I have so many, and I feel like losing a couple of weekends here doing this class this weekend and retreat next weekend. I've lost a couple of class days here, and so I can't wait to create with these things, but I feel like I'm going to run out of time and have to start showing Christmas. So I want to get all of our fall stuff made. All right. So have a great afternoon. I hope you all have a lovely day. It's really beautiful out here, sunny, and we got rain finally, so everyone's happy. And I will chat with you later. Bye-bye.